analysis on this. I read the article attached, and we've all been paying attention. What a very good article, very nicely impartial. And my perspective from reading this was the similarity between A and B. Split the vote on that design. And so that was the group taking the careful consideration and realizing that, we just put 2 Democrats and 1 Republican on the ticket, and we split the vote on one. And I think what they're trying to do is a correction. Now, this is just my perspective, that because the designs of A and B were so similar, the people that wanted that look will vote got split. And so I believe what they're trying to do right now is a corrective action to say, what does the community really want? And that's why they're probably chosen to go back and say, you know what, maybe we better do this one more time, because we do want the community to choose what they want and not make the mistake of going forward with C when, if you take a look at it, we might have been a 68 compared to our 35 or whatever the number is.
And Carol, not to debate this, because that's not my purpose.
No, I'm just saying it's another perspective.
But the community council and the bad committee, when I first joined, had already decided on a sign. It was already ready to go, and we were all set to move until this ad hoc committee was formed. For whatever reason, none of us could understand at the time.
No, that actually, it was not my understanding that Edna signed it. That was decided on. In fact, I think we all understand. I think the community was rather having a little bit of fun with the ribbon design at that time, which they were. That was even before the ribbon. Yeah, it's becoming up over and over again. It's just another perspective, basically. That's what I see from what I know as the reasoning behind why they want to come back and do another vote. And to me, it does seem reasonable and seems community sensitive.
The response from our office initially was in regards to what was initially reported from the meeting, that sign C was being somehow eliminated from the process. Carl absolutely did not stand by that. That was not something that we could ever support under any circumstances, which is why we released a statement that we did. Now, going back to the other point though, when you have a survey of this size and the results come in that close to each other, that falls within the margin of error. So people can make the argument, and you have to realize there are several sides to this. There are those people that want X, there are those people that want Y. There's going to be a lot of disagreement on this issue, and not everyone's going to be happy. But we want to find what will work best for the community and what the majority of the community wants. Yes.
What if, and this won't happen, but what if the vote comes out exactly the same?
To a 50-50?
No, wait. We're going to vote on
There'll only be 2 this time. There'll only be 2.
Yeah, we're not putting 3 up again. We're only putting 2 up this time.
And it'll be
because it'll be a runoff.
The actual design will be 2 similar ones.
So sign C will be one of the options that is there. So the traditional sign will be in that final runoff as one of the options. Yes.
I live in a senior community, and many of the people don't have computers and internet. Could there also be an option to do it by mail?
Part of the problem is our hands are somewhat tied in that respect in terms of resources and manpower. It would cost some amount of money in order to have some type of mail-in ballot or any other options like that.
Just put it in the paper and tell them to send in, make their choice. Let them do the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Let them put it on their own.
That's an option, but at the same time, there comes questions of there are communities that don't get the local paper, and we can't put this in the UT, absolutely not, because we discussed this at the very beginning in terms of targeting our outreach to this community. We didn't want to use any modes of outreach that were outside of Rancho Bernardo because we didn't want to open it up to people from all over the city voting on this issue. We wanted to use RB-only mediums of announcing this survey and asking people to participate in this survey.
Could it just be the local paper?
It could, but not everyone gets the journal, and in terms of having it be the only way to turn in your survey, then we're gonna run into the same problems where some people are gonna say, I don't get the paper. It's a tough thing to do. Plus, it would cost us, I believe, to put it in the journal. It would cost some amount of money.
I think the library could help too, then.
No, we've only one
Computers
vote per
down here.
computer.
I question that. I guess my point, my thought is, Carl had a few public outreaches, and I haven't met anyone that likes contemporary look. And I don't know where they're coming from, but it seems like out of the 50 people I've talked to, everyone said traditional. When Carl gets the community together, they all say traditional. The initial vote said traditional. And with all that, what was presented was 2 contemporary and 1 traditional. And the way it was presented, look at the package.
Yeah.
Whoever put together the traditional one, it was almost like an afterthought, like, let's focus on these 2, try to sell these 2, and we have to do this one. And despite that, we knew that the traditional was going to win. But at the same time, 1 vote per computer isn't true. Anyone can reset their cache or clear the memory and vote again. So it'd be very easy to manipulate and vote 100 times for a contemporary. And that's why when I see that 60% of the people all of a sudden are voting for the contemporary, it makes me wonder, if it's the folks from the town center just, voting 50 times. I like the idea of maybe putting something where they mail it to the community council or mail it directly to Carl. And we're only talking about 800 or so.
Our only options in that regard, as far as having an online survey, is you either limit it to 1 vote per IP address and try to stop that, or you just open it up completely to the possibility.
Well, when you do one IP address, I know that out of curiosity, I voted my one time, tried to vote again just to see what happened. It said you can't vote or whatever. And then I cleared my browser, and then you were able to vote again. I didn't do it, but I thought, well, that's the way around the system. Is just
clearing your browser doesn't.
It won't work.
No, clearing your browser won't renew your IP address.
Okay.
Your IP address is set.
It let me, but I didn't do it.
But I would think reset your router would probably reset your IP.
Okay,
All right, so that's it.
okay. Is there anyone else on the community council, because there's people in the audience, but the community council gets to say first. Go ahead, Dave.
I want to try to finish asking my question.
Mhm.
How do you pare down what the second choice is going to be?
The choice, the text.
No, I want all I was just trying to understand, what I'm getting to is that if you take the one that got, of the 2 contemporary, that got the most votes, to put that up against the traditional, what you have in effect done is used a process to eliminate one of the choices, which in effect, flip that over, we made a choice. You follow my logic?
I do.
So I don't know how you're going to do that, but I was curious, because you could use one that didn't get enough votes to eliminate it. Well, that in itself is convoluted logic, because you've already decided which one got the most votes. So I was just curious about how you would decide to eliminate one of the choices.
Well, as I said before, the reason behind that is that it falls within that margin of error. The winner was within, I think, 3% or so of the second place vote. And on a survey of this nature, you generally have a margin of error that would fall into.
Jack, that really sounds great, but when we had the first vote, it was only 270, and margin of error, and you all took statistics and significance of amounts. The amount of people that live here in RB and the 270 votes that initially came in was not statistically significant for any vote whatsoever, but that was okay. And
well, you
went
also,
on. And now you're talking about margin of error, 3%, blah, blah, blah. We can say anything, and you and I both know that you can make statistics say anything you want. The people of RB voted. They want the traditional sign, period. This is nonsense.
Okay, now.
Well, may I have a
Yeah,
comment?
go ahead, Patrick.
Since I'm new on the council, all I remember is we had a sign that got damaged, and the community wanted to replace the sign. Very simple and straightforward, put the sign back. And then we came up with this, well, we need signage for businesses and such. What does the signage for business have to do with the